The 12th floor was supposed to be a dead zone after 6 p.m., just a silent expanse of glass and steel, a ghost town in the sky. But on this specific night, a year to the day since the tragedy, the automated security system began logging a series of impossible events. Things that defied every protocol, every line of code, every law of physics. It started small, almost dismissibly. At exactly 11:14 p.m., a single motion sensor at the far end of the north corridor tripped. An anomaly, maybe a stray draft or a bug. But then, seconds later, the next sensor in the line went off, and the next, and the next. It was tracing a path, a steady walking pace path, heading directly toward the executive suites with a chillingly human cadence. Turn on the ground floor. In the sterile glow of the security hub, two guards, Frank and Ben, watched the alerts cascade across their screens. Ben, ever the pragmatist, immediately checked the digital badge swipes. 0. No active employees logged into that level. Not a single soul. Pull up the live feed for 12th North Corridor, Frank grumbled, his voice low. Ben's fingers flew across the keyboard. The screen flickered, showing the long, dark hallway. As they watched, the lights began to hum to life. One by one, in a rhythmic, terrifying sequence, they illuminated the path of the unseen traveler. Each light revealed nothing, just empty, carpeted hall. Sterile, flickering, fluorescent bulbs shining down on thin air. The invisible entity moved with a deliberate, unnerving purpose. Frank leaned forward, his eyes narrowed. He'd seen plenty of glitches in his 15 years, but this was different. This felt intentional. The sequence of lights continued, marching down the hall until it reached the final, heavy fire door at the end of the corridor. The door to what used to be the floor manager's office. And there, in the grainy high definition of the CCTV, the impossible happened. The heavy door, designed to resist fire and held open by a powerful hydraulic arm, slowly began to creak shut. It moved against its own weight, against its own mechanics, closing with a groan of protesting metal. The latch clicked into place with a sharp, echoing finality that seemed to vibrate through the entire silent building. Ben just stared, his mouth slightly ajar. "What was that?" he whispered. Frank didn't answer. He just picked up the radio. When the physical security team finally arrived on the floor minutes later, the hallway had already plunged back into darkness. The air was unnaturally cold, a stark contrast to the rest of the climate-controlled building. They found the fire door firmly shut, locked from the inside. With a master key, they opened it, their flashlights cutting through the oppressive dark of the manager's old office. The room was completely vacant. No windows, no secondary exits, just four walls and a desk. There was no logical explanation for what had just crossed the threshold. No way in, no way out. The incident was logged, but the mystery was just beginning. The aftermath of the sweep only deepened the confusion. Technicians spent the entire next morning dismantling the sensors, checking for electrical surges, software glitches, anything that could explain a sequential failure of that magnitude. They found nothing. The hardware was functioning perfectly. The logs were clean, aside from the event itself, and that's when they found the detail that turned everyone's blood to ice. The motion was detected at a height of approximately 6 feet. moving with a deliberate stride that bypassed every theory of a draft or a small animal. This was the movement of a person who wasn't there. But the most unsettling discovery came from the internal office sensor. It didn't just log the door closing. After the door latched, the sensor registered a presence. A stationary mass standing in the center of the dark, empty room for exactly 42 minutes. It just stood there, seemingly staring at the wall where a framed photo of the man's family used to hang. And then, at 11:56 p.m., the signal simply vanished into the static of the night. It was gone. This anomaly has since been classified as an internal DeadHour event. As the security team, now thoroughly spooked, began digging into the building's history, they uncovered the truth. The exact path taken by the invisible visitor from the elevator bank down the north corridor to that specific office mirrored the daily routine of the former floor manager, a man named Alan Croft. Alan was a workaholic, a man who lived and breathed for his job, often staying late, walking that same path, long after everyone else had gone home. He had passed away at his desk from a sudden heart attack, exactly 1 year prior to the sensor activation. He died at 11:56 p.m., the exact moment the presence in his old office vanished. The stories started to surface after that. Whispers from the cleaning crew about feeling watched on the 12th floor. Employees who sometimes worked late reported hearing faint, disembodied sighs near Alan's old office. One account executive swore she saw a tall, shadowy figure standing by the water cooler out of the corner of her eye, only to turn and find no one there. But the evidence kept mounting. Local investigators brought in to consult noted that the temperature in that specific office remains a constant 10 degrees lower than the rest of the floor to this day. A cold spot that no HVAC technician can explain. The security staff now have an unspoken rule. No one monitors the 12th floor feeds alone. The veteran guards, the ones who've been there the longest, claim that if you turn up the gain on the audio logs from that night and you listen closely, past the electronic hum and the static, you can hear something else. A faint, rhythmic sound. The sound of typing, echoing from a room that is verified, certified, and guaranteed to be empty. It seems Alan Croft never truly clocked out. He's still there, forever chained to his desk, forever walking the halls, a silent resident of the 12th floor. And every year, on the anniversary of his death, he relives his final moments, a ghostly echo in the machine, a warning that some deadlines are truly final. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Tales from the Shadows.